Break-In, my friends. Today we are going to be covering a pretty cool tune by the one and only Jon Pardi. The song is called Night Shift. It's in the key of D. It's a good beginner country rockin' tune, kind of beginner intermediate I'll call it, for players. And we'll cover the intros, the choruses, the verses, and the solo sections. And then there's a cool little bridge section that we'll try to learn too. Let's just get right down to business. First things first, we got to get your guitar tuned down on the low E string to a D note. Now once this baby is tuned to drop D, we get all those sweet sounding chords. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with the intro of the song. You got this cool little lick up here. And then the rhythm section is just playing the chords, the same chords that are actually found in the chorus. So let's just do that quick. So the first chords that we're going to be playing is the B power chord. And I'm trying to just focus on these 3 strings for every chord. And you could play the chords nice and open, but if you're playing with a bunch of people in a mix, it's just going to get a little, I don't know, flubby if you would. So just try to keep it tight. We're just going to focus on those 3 strings. So the B chord, down to a G chord, and that's just also, it's just a power chord. You get your octave here, 2 Gs, and then your 5th. So it's B, and then we got this D. And for the chorus, I like to play it up high. When you're doing the verse section, I'll show you how it's done, but it's a little bit lower. So again, we got the B chord here, G chord, D. And again, focusing on those 3 notes. And what you really want to do is let those power chords ring out, give it that nice punch throughout so it kind of rings through. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let me kick on a metronome quick. Now the intro section is just 4 bars. The riff that plays over the top of it, the lead section I'll call it, is kind of cool in this little pentatonic box and this triad thing. We're working in D here. So if you just look at your D major scale here, that's where we're finding this section here, okay? So you get your D chord, so it's so all we're doing here is starting on the 12th fret of the B string here, and we're going to play on the 10th fret of the high E. So it's, so you're just pedaling back and forth. 1, 2, 3. Then the second part goes like this. So we're on the 12th fret of the G string. We're going to play the 10th fret of the B string, and then the 11th fret of the G string. And honestly, what makes that such a cool combination with the chord, when the rhythm plays the chord, and you get to that D chord, it's just a D power chord, and then actually you're adding the 3rd in there, because you're not playing this top note, and so you're playing it here. And you're really giving that color, really dissonant color from what's happening in the rhythm section to the lead. So it's 12, 10, 12, 12, 10, 11. And then it goes repeats one more time on the top. And so all that changes there is you're on the G string, 12th fret, 11, back to 12 on the D string now. And you're just landing on the D note. So I'll just play that one more time through. Play it nice and slow until you get it down to a metronome. And really let those notes ring out too, so you can kind of hear that. Now with that little intro section, they do use some overdrive, and I got a little bit of delay and a little bit of reverb here, and it's going to sound pretty good like this. And I'm right on the neck pickup too, so it gives it that nice kind of buttery sound. Volume's kind of rolled back. So now we will move into the very first verse, and it's got this cool kind of chunky downstroke riff that goes onto it, playing the same chords, mind you, the B chord, the G chord, and the D chord. With one exception, at the end they have this open up of the palm mute a little bit, and I'll show you how that's kind of done too. So again, we play this, and I'm focusing on the lower strings here. Kind of gives you that kind of dissonance from the top part of the D chord. So back to the B. And that's all it is, just. Now when you get to the last part of the bar that you play for the verse, it goes. And so all we're doing here is we're just going to palm mute the first hit, and then let off, palm mute twice. So all we're doing again, I'll show you real slow here. So it's palm mute that B chord, off, palm mute again, G chord. First verse, you let this ring out. The second verse, it builds up. So again, I got the volume pot rolled back just a little bit, kind of get that distortion kind of out of there, so it's a more overdriven tone off the pedal I got, using this overdrive Noble pedal. So it's. So we'll play this full thing through here. B, G, D, B, G, D. All right, here's a let-off riff. And then now we are into the first chorus. Working on the night shift, baby. That we played now in the intro part of the song. So again, it sounds something like this. 3, 4. Now we're going to add an A chord in this. So that's the only thing different in the choruses versus the intro is we do have an A chord that comes in there just for just a very quick second, and it's just one time in both choruses. So all together again. Again, the verse just repeats. However, on the end of this verse, it does the build up. So it's. And then you back into the chorus. There is one cool little like lead thing that happens on there that's got a lot of effects. I don't really have the effects for it, but I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about. So if you got another guitar player and somebody with a wah pedal, you can do that too. So it kind of sounds something like this is kind of what I'm picking out. It's really, really kind of studio pumped up a little bit, but it's just again playing just these. Just playing those kind of D triad things. once we're done with that second verse, that moves into the second chorus. And again, identical. It's the same exact chorus that you've learned in the first one. It just goes on repeat. Except this time, after the chorus, you're going to go into the solo. The rhythm also stays the same on the solo, but we will run through the solo quickly. And now all we're doing is we're playing out of the pentatonic boxes here. And the pentatonic boxes that we're using is just that minor. Then we're going into the major box. I'll just call it box 1 and box 5. That's how I look at it. You guys can look at it either way, but it is the minor pentatonic. So if you're kind of trying to figure out why the solo is built the way it's built, that's what they're using. They're just kind of using the pentatonic scale to develop the solo over these chords. What we got going on here is we're starting in this first pentatonic, or this fifth pentatonic box, I'll say. And we're starting on the B string, this 7th fret. We're just going to bend that up. And then we just do this little walk up. And that's just an octave up that we just play that. So we have this 7th fret on the B string. We just bend that up. And we got this quick little lick right here. So it's just on the G string, so 7 to 9. Let me take this delay and stuff off here so you can kind of hear it a little better. And then we just do this little climb, this little pattern that we go up the pentatonic box with. So it's 7-9 on the A, 7-9 on the D string, 7-9 on the G string to this E note, and then we're going to pluck that E note one more time to the F sharp, and then we're going to climb that from there. So it's all together, it's going to go. And then we're going to jump up to that last little lick. And all that is we're going to, when we do the jump, we're just going to jump up to that 14th fret of the high E string. And again, half step bend. So we just do that little half step bend on the 14th fret, 15th fret on the B string to that D note. And then we're going to take that 17th note, the 17th fret, the E note, and we're going to bend that to an F sharp. And then when we bend up, let off quickly, and end up on that 15th fret, that E note again. So, real quick, let's just run through this. I know it's kind of a lot to throw at you here, but we're going to bend up here. And when you're playing this solo, there's a lot of distortion going on, so you can kind of crank the gain a little bit, add some delay and some reverb. That kind of really gives it some big sound. All together, I'll kick on some relay, kick on some delay, and we'll just run through this one more time. So again, it sounds something like this. Now, once we're done with that solo, that pushes us into the bridge of the song. And it does this cool little lick. The whole band kind of breaks down slowly. And it's just something sounds like this. And then the band builds back up. and then we're back into the choruses. So all this pattern is we're just kind of pedaling out of this D chord. We got an A note, a D note, and an A note. And we're just kind of pedaling back before it. And then we're going to play a C sharp. So all it is, we're going to start on this G string. So it's 2nd fret of the G string, that A note, to a D note, to another A note of the 5th fret on the E string. So it's 2, 3, 5. So it's 2, 3, 5. And we're going to just go back and forth. So it's... So just play it through slowly. 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3. And then the lead over the top of it's also just playing that pattern thing. At least that's kind of what it sounds like to me. There might be a little bit of fluctuation, but if you play it kind of heavily filtered with effects, that's kind of going to give you a pretty close sound. And it's just kind of subtle in the background there. You don't have to play it. If you're with a band, maybe it's kind of cool to do it. And then it's, again, back into the chorus. So let's just play through that bridge section one more time real quickly. And then we're back into working on the night shift, baby. Loving how we're working on the night So again, the same chords that you played in the other choruses are the same identical chords that you play in this chorus as well, with the exception that you just kind of, obviously there's a down chorus and the up chorus is what I'll call it. But then you move into the outro solo, which is also a cool ripping solo. So let's get right into that part right now. All right, now we are in the second solo section of the song, the outro solo, which is a freaking rockin' solo. Don't be afraid of the distortion here. There's a lot of gain. So crank it up. We got delay, we got reverb, and just a lot of distortion. Make that solo really ring out here. Let it cut through. Again, we're going to be playing in that pentatonic minor, pentatonic major boxes. All we're doing is we're doing this rockin' thing. It's going to go to this downbeat, and then we're going to get right into it. So it's a really fun rocket. So let's just play it once through. So the outro solo sounds something like this. And all we're doing here, playing in those same minor and major pentatonic boxes that... And we're just going to do some rocking, turn up that gain, turn up the delays and the reverbs, and we're just going to kind of go over it quickly. So again, we are starting on this double stop here. And all we're doing is playing the 7th fret of the G and B string. Just a slight bend up. And then we're going to just kind of get on that D string right on the 9. And then we're still in that minor pentatonic box. And then it repeats. So it's just the 10th and the 9th fret. And all we're doing is we're bending this 9th fret up. And then that repeats. going to slide this 9th fret to the 11th fret back into that major pentatonic scale. So let's just take this real slow for where we're at now. So that sliding riff is all it is we're just sliding up to the 11th fret, to the 10th fret. Now we're in that major pentatonic box. So it's just sliding up to the 11th fret. We have a 10, 12, and then the high E. And then we're just bending that up. So let's just run through that really quickly, just that sliding part. Just a cool little lick, cool little run. Now we get to jump into this cool section up on top, and it's kind of difficult to do if you haven't done it a lot. Some people will do it probably with just one finger. I try to sneak my pinky when I can. And again, we're just in the third position box now of the So it's 17th fret on the B string, bend that up, hit that 17th fret on the E string, catch it on the way down, pull off to the 15th fret on the B string, and then we're catching on the G string, the 16th fret. So all together it's going to be this little lick can sound like this. And then we're going to quickly slide down. And it's going to sound like something like this when we get to the 12th fret. We're back in that major pentatonic box, that first one. So it's 12, 10. So it's 12, 10. We're going to jump down to this G string here. So it's 12, 10 on the B. Jumping down to this G, back to the B string on the 10th fret, down to the 12 on the D string, moving down to the 9th fret, to the 7th fret on the G string, and then we're going to do a little, like kind of a little bend. It's kind of tough to do it slow actually, but it's that's going to ring for just a second, and then we're just walking down that pattern on that minor pattern, that 5th part of the pentatonic scale. It's 9, 7, 9, slide to 7 on the A string to the 5th fret. And then we're going to slide back up from the 7 to 9, and then we're going to jump a string. We're going to catch that D note right on that G string. So hopefully you can kind of understand that's kind of a little bit quick little riff there. So it's going to take some time to build it up. But again, just play that part. It's so let me just play it the whole thing really slow all the way through. And that is the outro solo. So there you have it. That is Jon Pardi, Night Shift. guitar parts, the lead and the rhythm. Again, you can kind of tinker with it a little bit. That's what I'm hearing for the notes. I think it's pretty dang close, to be honest. Again, you can embellish on this too. You just playing in the pentatonic box. I really want you to understand that that's what you're playing in. And all these things up here too. It's all just pentatonic boxes that we're kind of creating the solo in. So feel free to just kind of embellish it a little bit too. If some of these parts just aren't clicking with you, you have the option to make something sound like yours. So I will leave it right there. That is how you play Jon Pardi's Night Shift on guitar. Again, please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching my channel. I appreciate everybody that's been tuning in lately. So I'm going to try to keep doing some fun stuff, some lesson stuff, and hopefully some gear stuff. I got a lot of gear that I could show off too. So I appreciate everyone that continues to make some efforts towards me. And we will continue to break stuff down too. So if you have a song recommendation or anything like that, shoot it in the comments. Country, rock, blues, you name it. I'm into all sorts of music. So again, let's keep the ball rolling here. Thank you again for watching. Tune in to the next episode. See ya.